boy Kenny. Yo, man, we are back, boys. It is so good to be able to do one of these. It's been a long, like 4 months, however long it's been. But, oh man, it's so good. And now we are doing it in our Dynasty League. So, for those of you who don't know what this is Kenny's Corner. And this is pretty much just, you know, the inside scoop, NFL. We go through Dynasty, fantasy matchups. Kind of give my own analysis. And I try to not be as biased as possible. So just so you know. um, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I bring in special guests sometimes. We do awards at the end of the year. So it should be a banger of a season. And now we get to do it for our Dynasty League. I did it for our Redraft League last year, and everyone loved it. Thank you, everyone, for all the positive feedback. And I'm so happy to continue to do these. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So today we're going to go over, we just had our rookie draft. Today we're going to go through the crazy trades that had happened today and even before today, and we'll go through the draft as well. So first, let's meet the teams, because we have some people that are different here. So first we got our commissioner, Shane, also our previous champion. Shout out. Congratulations on the chip last year, Shane. Also our commissioner, so shout out, Commish. In King's Landing, we also have Dylan, Dan, Corey, and Tommy. So some good solid players there. And then down in the Lonely Winterfell. Now, if you guys remember Winterfell last year, that was a rough division. I mean, I think if I remember correctly, I think the person, whoever won it, finished like, was it 7-6 or something, or whatever it was, 7-7. It was like one above 500 or at 500. So, excuse me. So, yeah, it was wild. So this division was rough, but hopefully now we'll make it a lot more competitive. So over to Winterfell, we got Nick, Trey, myself, Tybo, and BMAC. So, very, very good, very good. Alright, so now that we met the players, let's take a look at the trades, because there were some wild ones. Let's start all the way at the bottom. This trade happened 2 weeks ago, actually. It was between Dylan and Tommy. Dylan, already having the two-headed monster that he does, Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs, the trade was he received Saquon, Tommy's second-round pick. Saquon, and he received a second-round pick and first-round pick as well. And he gave R.J. Harvey a first-round pick and a first round in 2027. So Dylan gave up 2 first-round picks, but he received Dylan's first round and Dylan's first round for 2027 as well. So I gotta get used to this. Bear with me on this. This is first time doing the Dynasty with the trade picks. This was wild. So overall, though, now it's a 3-headed monster. Now you have Saquon added to that mix. Holy moly, man! That is going to be a solid roster that Dylan has. Hopefully Saquon could do a lot better this year. I mean, last year was kind of a down year for him, but maybe with the departure of AJ Brown, who knows? maybe that will pick up, and he'll definitely have a better year. We'll see. Um, and RJ Harvey, you know, he played absolutely amazing when J.K. Dobbins went down. So when Dobbins went down, Harvey came in, stepped up, and had amazing, especially in the playoff time. So, with Dobbins coming back, we'll see what happens. I mean, we're gonna have to see with both of these guys because is this gonna be another down Saquon year, or is there gonna be a split backfield with Harvey and Dobbins? So we'll see. But overall, solid pick, solid trade, guys. And you guys got some draft capital. Moving on to today's now, we had Nick giving up Caleb Williams and getting BMAC's second round pick. So BMAC gets Caleb Williams. He gets a nice young QB to his arsenal. He also has Roma Dunze, so maybe a little duo action there. So we'll see. Yeah, nice easy trade there. No complaints, and you get draft capital and get a nice QB. And now let's move on to the big boy here. This one was a bit of a head scratcher, but you know what? If you believe, then you can achieve. I don't know why I said that, but Corey gave for BMAX 1-3, because BMAC had the third overall pick, for 1-3 and Octavian Wicks, he gave up Derrick Henry, BTJ, a 2026 second round, a 2027 first round, a 2027 second round, a 2028 first round, and a 2028 third round. So he gave up a lot of his future capital because he already had the second overall pick, so he also wanted the third overall pick. And you'll see who he drafted. He drafted the top 2 wide receivers in the draft. We'll see what happens. It's a risky move, but it may pay off. We'll see. In the meantime, BMAC here, sitting pretty with all that draft capital now. Now he's going to have 2 first-round picks next year, 2 first-round picks in 2028. He's looking in pretty good shape, honestly. I can't really say who. I mean, all right. On paper, BMAC has won this trade. Maybe this will come back to bite me. I just think right now BMAC's got. I'm just giving my own personal opinion. BMAC definitely won this trade for sure, just because of the draft capital. That's not going to go down in value. That's going to be prominent. All right. These players, though, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, we don't know. We don't know how they're going to play. So it's risky, but maybe they'll be like Jefferson and Chase. We don't know. So, Derrick Henry probably got a good, maybe a couple years left in him, but we'll see what happens with him. Still King Henry. And then we have BTJ, who had a bit of a down year last year, but I think I think he'll pick it up a little bit for sure. And so so that was that trade. So as of right now, BMAC won this trade, but I'll come back later at the end of the year. I'll eat my own words if I have to. In the middle of the draft, we had I gave up, which was Nick's actually second round pick, for Tony Pollard, just for some depth. It was the back half of the second round, so nothing really too prominent. Like, it wasn't a guy I wasn't going to start, so I'd rather take a starting running back. Get some depth in there. So nice easy trade. Thanks, BMAC. And then this trade here that we also did, the last one. So I had given up Isaiah Likely, Breece Hall, and a second round pick for next year for Michael Pittman and Javonte Williams. So, Reason behind this is that I'm very happy to get rid of Brees Hall. Jets offense stinks, so take him off my hands. I'd rather take Javonte Williams. Yes, he had a really good 1 year last year, and that might come back to bite me. Maybe he has a down year this year, but just that high power Cowboys offense, you want pretty much anybody from that offense. So I'll take Javonte all day. Pittman comes in as the number 2. Maybe could take the number 1 from DK. I mean, if they're going to double DK, you're going to have Pittman open. Rodgers will fire it to him. Likely, will definitely be probably the starting tight end for the Giants. Theo is just not the answer. So that was definitely one I was like, on the fence about, surprisingly, but we'll see. But overall, BMAC, thank you for the trade. You also had 4 4 trades in a day. So that's absolutely incredible. So shout out BMAC there, and shout out to everyone who did all the trades. Amazing jobs, for what you all think. But that was very, very active trade day. Very active trade day on draft day. All right. So now we move on to our wonderful draft board here. So as you know, in Dynasty, we only draft the rookies. So these are our rookies. And, pretty much, I would say everybody was kind of picked as expected, except for Coleman was a shock to be picked the 1-6. I think a lot of people expected Concepcion to be picked, but he fell all the way to 2-1 back in Tommy's hands, who Tommy also, Jeremiah Love, I mean, we already know how he's going to be. I mean, he's going to be the starter for the Cardinals. He'll probably be in the Rookie of the Year conversation already right off the bat. But he like pretty much this whole draft was centered on these 3 people here. Maybe 4, but these 3. Pretty much everybody after that is like an So if you didn't really have like a top 3 or maybe 4 pick, you weren't really getting a prominent player like, in previous years. So this year's class was very much Love, Tate, Tyson heavy. So, that's the route that Corey went. He took the Tate Tyson. And like I said, we'll visit this later at the end of the year and we'll see what happens. Maybe we're going to eat our own words. Tybo taking Mekhi Lemon. He was like another guy. I personally like Mekhi Lemon. I wanted to get him, but figured Tybo would get him. So I ended up going with Jadarian Price. With the departure of Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet is hurt. He will be the go-to guy for the moment. So we'll see what happens. And then, Dan drafted Omar Cooper. It's the Jets, so it's always going to have question marks. But maybe he'll end up being like a Garrett Wilson. We'll see. You never really know, right? I like this pick in Sadiq. He had a great college career, and definitely has a chance to be probably like a good safety blanket for Geno. So, interesting enough, Mendoza dropped all the way down to 2-4. That is very shocking to me. I was expecting him probably to be maybe in this back end or front end here, but he dropped down to 2-4. That's a shock. So overall, very, very solid draft for everyone. Very wide receiver heavy, as you can see. So definitely a lot of wide receivers. Shout out Carson Beck, Ty Simpson. Who is Mr. Irrelevant? Katron Allen. All right, Katron Allen, you're Mr. Irrelevant, so let's see. Can you make yourself relevant? Yeah, so truly, I just think Jeremiah Love just outbeats everyone. Like he's the clear number one rookie in the rookie drafts, no doubt about it. Um, but if I have to give like who I think is going to be a sleeper, I really think it's going to be Jacoby Lane, and I can see why BMAC wanted to trade for him, or essentially trade that pick to me, because you know Ravens. First of all, this guy had a great career in college, but um, I just think that he was selected in the third round, so you don't expect him to really be competing. But think about who their wide receiver two is. The Ravens, Rashad Bateman. I mean, I put up this rookie over Bateman. I think this guy will beat him. So it is possible that Lane becomes like the number two, uh, you know, wide receiver. You have Zay Flowers and him. And this could be an up year for Lamar. I think Lamar had a little bit of a down year, but now I think this could be the spark. So, uh, watch out for him a little bit. We'll see. We'll see. But, overall, I think it was a pretty solid, so very solid draft. Um, and, everybody picked what they needed, taxi squads, we'll see. We'll see who ends up getting the steal of the draft. We'll make that an award for the end of the year. So, yes. Well, everyone, I am super excited. So, I can't wait. We're going to do a power rankings right before the week one. I do my week one video. We'll do power rankings, see who I think has the best team, and from 1 to 10, um, and then we'll just start doing these things weekly. I'm super excited. I'm so happy. I can't wait. I'm so happy to hear that intro again. And this is going to be fun. You give a little sneak peek here of our week one matchups. I like it. But yeah, so let's have a good football year. Let's have a great year. We can't wait for that week 13 matchup. Rival week. That's going to be a banger. And we'll get some special guests in here, and we'll do a little talking, little football talk and everything, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Kenny's Corner Draft Recap and Draft Trade Recap Edition, and we will see you all the first week in September for our week one.